Welcome to Access Asia, I'm Yuka Hoye. In this edition, we'll take a deep dive into the cricket universe with the 2023 World Cup underway in India. More than 1 billion fans around the world and a near religious following in India, but it has yet to go truly global. Jean-Emile Jammine from our sports desk will tell us all about cricket. Some matches are held in the ruling party's stronghold at a stadium named after the Prime Minister. In this World Cup, politics plays a major role in India's favourite sport. And behind every throw and strike, there's a ball. We'll take a closer look at how iconic leather balls are made, often in difficult working conditions. It's the 13th edition of the Cricket World Cup, enthralling millions of fans eager to see what twists and turns the 48 matches can offer. Now, 10 teams are competing in the championship that runs through the 19th of November. India, hosting the Games for the first time in 12 years, is seen as a strong favourite. But there's also England that won the 50-over tournament back in 2019, 5 times winners Australia, as well as arch rivals Pakistan. Half of the teams are from Asia. Now, Jean-Emile Jammine, our own cricket expert, is here to talk all about the sport. Hi there. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Now, you are a cricketer yourself, aren't you?
Oh, yes. I opened the batting for my school sides back in the day, and it was part daily bread, as we can call it, just to be in the cricket side. So much fun.
So then, guide us through, the uninitiated like me, through the complex world of cricket. Now, one match can even last for days, although the World Cup uses a limited one-day format. How do you win a game?
I wish I could describe this in longer terms, but a one-day international is 50 overs. 50 overs is 6 balls bowled times 50. So an over is 6 balls bowled. You have 2 teams. You have a bowling and fielding team and a batting team. At any given point, there is a team out in the field where one bowler bowls towards a batsman, and there's only 2 batsmen on either side of a pitch and a crease. The objective is to get more runs than your opponent. And in order to do so, you must make sure that your wickets don't fall as the batting team. Wickets can fall in ways where the ball is bowled through your stumps, which are just behind you. You can be caught out. That's if the ball hits off your bat and is caught, bat or glove. You can be caught leg before wickets. So that's the ball traps you on the leg, and it would have hit your wicket behind you if you didn't get your leg in the way. You can also be run out. That's if you and your partner are crossing over the pitch and you don't make it in time to your crease, and the fielder gets the ball and hits the wicket. Many different ways of going out, a lot of anxiety and really a stressful game, but so much fun as well.
Well, sounds like I will need a thick beginner's manual to watch a game. Now, the Cricket World Cup is huge. It's held every 4 years. What does it have in store this time?
Well, this time it is India alone who are hosting the World Cup. And we've got 10 teams. It's a completely unique format where there is a log system. Each team plays each other once. And then the top 4 teams by the end of that entire pool stage go through to the semi-finals. And then those semi-finals finish off with that final in the same stadium that's in Ahmedabad, the Narendra Modi Stadium, where the opening game is held between England and New Zealand. England, of course, the winners last time out in 2019. Now, India are seen as favourites. They're hosting it for the first time since 2011, where they won. And they are the top-ranked ICC team in the world right now. It's all starting in Chennai. So really cool and exciting games to look forward to.
Now, India is home to 90% of global cricket fans. It's the one sport that brings people of all faiths together and has a quasi-religious following. But politics is playing a major role at this year's World Cup, with critics saying that the ruling BJP and the Prime Minister are using the tournament to gain momentum ahead of next year's elections. Monty Francis has more.
To see proof of just how enmeshed India's hosting of the Cricket World Cup is with politics, look no further than this stadium that bears the name of the current Prime Minister. Opened in 2020, Narendra Modi Stadium can hold 132,000 fans. Many arenas in India bear the names of politicians, but rarely when they're still in office, and even more out of the ordinary when they're seeking a third consecutive term in elections set for next year.
The Modi Stadium in the Prime Minister's home state of Gujarat, which is also the state where he stands for election, it's hosting the cream of the matches scheduled for the World Cup. The opening, the closing games, the marquee match, that's the India versus Pakistan match. And there are leaders from the opposition parties of two states at least, Kerala and Punjab, for example, have asked why their states, those are states governed by opposition parties, have been left out.
The Cricket World Cup is run by the ICC, but the sports administrative body known as the Board Control for Cricket in India has asserted great influence over when and where the matches are played. And the BCCI has close links to the Prime Minister's party, the BJP. Modi's critics say he's using the sporting event to promote his ambitions for a third term and his party, the BJP's agenda of Hindu nationalism. In the meantime, there's hope the tournament could do something for diplomacy between India and Pakistan. There was a brief controversy when the Indian government delayed issuing visas to the players from Pakistan's team. But once on Indian soil, they received a warm welcome. Last month, India refused to visit Pakistan for the Asia Cup tournament, and this is the first time Pakistan's team has set foot in India in 7 years. Political tensions between the two nuclear-armed states has endured, but love of cricket appears to be something they can agree on.
Now, Jean-Emile, that match between arch rivals India and Pakistan is coming up on the 14th of October. That will no doubt be one of the highlights of this championship. But why is the sport so popular in India in the first place?
Well, firstly, you've got over 300 years of history. We'll touch on that in a moment, but it's been there a long time in India. Secondly, it's a very easy game to play, even if you don't have very good resources. You can just go with your friends. You can literally pick up a plank of wood and a tennis ball, and there you go. You've got your cricket bat and ball. If you're looking then at the power of cricket in India and how it's grown over the years, the Board of Cricket Control, BCCI, which was mentioned in that package, they are very influential. They have $2.5 billion net worth. They receive over $100 million more than the next cricketing council. And they've got a huge say in where the ICC basically gets all of its directives from in terms of cricket. So then you mix that with the development of the Indian Premier League, the IPL, which is by far the most lucrative cricketing league. And all of a sudden, you've got fans completely in the subcontinent, which is the most populous country in the world, of course, all just merging onto this one sport. And let's not forget their success in ICC competition. Winners of the World Cup in 1983, winners in 2011. They've won the inaugural T20 World Cup, the 20-over World Cup. Finally, in terms of the players that they've had, let's not forget the little maestro Sachin Tendulkar. Now they're going to be having Rohit Sharma and, of course, Virat Kohli. So much for the Indians to look forward to in terms of the game.
So it's a sport with centuries-old rich history, yet at the same time, its markets are still largely limited to the Commonwealth. I guess here, history and its markets intertwine. Why is that?
Well, that's because it was bought over by English sailors, the British East India Company, back in the 1720s. The very first games, just about 400 miles from Gujarat and Mumbai. And it developed between the sailors and the local population as a way to kind of just eradicate any kind of hostilities. And it developed from there, and then the Kolkata India Club became the second oldest cricket club in the world after Marylebone Cricket Club, which developed all the rules of the game. And that developed, and then after that, there was the Parsi community, actually, which led it forward, the Oriental Cricket Club. And then one by one, the Hindus, the Muslims, the Parsis, and the English all played together. So any kind of discrepancies between the cultures got completely removed, and it was cricket that was the most important thing. And of course, it also spread to the other regions of the subcontinent and to Pakistan, to Sri Lanka, the rest of Asia, where it's now taken hold. Even Saudi Arabia, you might see playing cricket in the future. So there's just that history involved with India, and they've brought it all the way through.
Now then, to one piece of equipment there are 3 types of balls being used in international cricket. Although Australian-made Kookaburra balls are being used in this tournament, SG balls are an iconic piece of Indian cricket kit, but they're still made by hand in the city of Meerut. It is a skilled craft passed through generations, but people supporting the industry often work in difficult conditions and have to contend with cultural taboos. Jaban Silk takes a look.
In decades of technological developments and rule changes to modernise cricket, this is one thing that's stayed the same. Here in India's cricket ball manufacturing capital, Meerut, competition balls are still stitched by hand by craftspeople working in hundreds of small workshops around the city.
Making a leather ball is not an easy task. It's very challenging work. Many people work together to prepare a single ball. Then it goes to the cricketers and they play.
There's more than just tradition behind the craft. Hand stitching results in a more pronounced seam. On the field, that means more spin and bounce, which especially suits playing conditions in India. The materials haven't changed either. A cork centre surrounded by leather. That's raised the ire of the cow protection movement, which has sometimes led to violence by Hindu nationalists who consider the cow sacred. Leatherwork was once practiced mostly by people in the Jatav community, considered to be at the bottom of India's still persistent caste system. But the trade is changing.
People are in need of income and are willing to work, especially since job opportunities are limited in this area. So people from diverse communities are actively participating in this industry.
Workers receive only the equivalent of around 30 cents per ball, despite the demanding work and punishing hours.
Due to the nature of our work, we don't have time to watch cricket. I'm fond of watching cricket, but we can't since we are so busy.
The craftspeople essential to the game are locked out of the sport in a country where cricket is almost a religion.
That's it for this edition of Access Asia. Thank you, Jean-Emile, for all the cricket facts and tidbits, and thank you for watching. Please stay tuned if you can. There's more world news coming up.